Hey, hey. Ooh, I couldn't resist this cut. Hey, hey. What we sipping? Hey, hey, hey. Auntie, for you about the facts. Facts. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that meringue. Facts. I know it's froth. Whoo! What it do? What's up? Huh? So listen. They've been acting up and they've been acting right. They've been acting up and they've been acting right. They've been acting up and they've been acting right. So how we gonna start? Where we gonna start today? Well, Auntie Fee, you done already started with that Jim Jones fight. You call it a fight? Baby, I call that a treatment. I call that a educational treatment. You better learn who to play with. Auntie Fee. So you just gonna laugh? I sure am. And after he spanked that ass, picked him up, set that ass down, then he obeyed the command, get over there and sit down. And he sat there. Yes, they attacked me. They tried to jump me. Both of them. He's sitting there while they all rowdy. But they ain't manhandled him, see. But I'm going to leave that alone. Because he handled his business. But somebody else uploaded something. I can't think of the man. I don't want to say his name wrong. I need to get that before it go away. Somebody else, one of them Floyd type situation. Shout out to Double Up. He uploaded, what's that man's name? Let me go on in there. We need to go and look at this. Because they killed that man, put another knee in the back. Another knee in the back, on the neck, I'm sorry. And killed this man. Let's go on in there and talk about it. His last name is Tyson. Condolences to the Tyson family out of Ohio. If you don't know how to de-escalate, then being a police officer may not be the job for you. If you don't want to come across as intentional. You know what I mean? Intentional racist. Canton, Ohio Police Department.
No, we're going outside. We're going outside. We're not doing this. You ain't killing me tonight. You ain't killing me. No, you guys are killing me. They're trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me.
Next week, a family in Ohio will bury a man who died after he told an officer who had a knee on his back for about 30 seconds that he could not breathe. His name was Frank Tyson. After the officers forced him to the floor and handcuffed him, Tyson said, "I can't breathe," at least 7 times within a minute, including after the officer's knee was off his back. Listen now to one officer's response.
Stop fighting. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't. Get off my neck. Okay. I can't breathe. You're fine. Yep. Shut the off.
5 minutes after Tyson stopped speaking, the officers noticed he was unresponsive, and they started CPR. 2 officers involved are on administrative leave pending an investigation by the Ohio Attorney General's Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
Police officers should have learned from the teachable moment from George Floyd that you should never put your knee on a person's neck, especially when they're
Frank Tyson
restrained
and his family,
and saying, I can't breathe. And then for him to respond, shut the F up, it is infuriating. How many more black people have to die before the police believe us when we say, I can't breathe?
I wanted to see those police officers in jail. Not on leave, because I don't want them to have another job.
Shout out to
I want them to
Double.
be taken away from their families, just like they took Frank away. I know they won't be dead, but justice has to be done.
By a police officer who knelt on his neck and kept kneeling even after Floyd said several times. 4 years ago this month, George Floyd was murdered by a police officer who knelt on his neck and kept kneeling even after Floyd said several times that he could not breathe. Next week, a family in Ohio will bury a man who died after he told an officer who had a knee on his back for about 30 seconds that he could not breathe. His name was Frank Tyson. He was 53 years old. He crashed his car into a pole and then went to a meeting hall nearby. The Canton police officers found and arrested him. We're going to show you the video, but a warning, this is disturbing. Bye. The Canton police
Listen
officers
to the woman,
found and arrested him.
how she was talking.
We're going to show you the video, but a warning, this is disturbing.
No, we're going outside. We're going outside.
The floor and handcuffed him. Tyson said, I can't breathe, at least 7 times within a minute, including after the officer's knee was off his back. Listen now to one officer's response.
That's the stores right there. I'll be glad I'm for you. Okay. I can't breathe. You're fine. Yep. Shut the off.
5 minutes after Tyson stopped speaking, the officers noticed he was unresponsive, and they started CPR. Canton police say 2 officers involved are on administrative leave pending an investigation by the Ohio Attorney General's Bureau of Criminal Investigation. Joining me now is civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump. He is one of the lawyers representing the family, and Frank Tyson's fiancée, Sabrina Jones. Sabrina, first, my condolences to you, and I thank you for being with me. When you watch that video, what do you see? What do you feel?
I was hurt, devastated, angry, mad. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was wrong. Man, I can't get that video out of my mind.
Attorney Crump, another man dying under the knee of a police officer saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And then we heard the response from one of the officers, you're fine, shut the F up. What do you see when you watch that video?
Well, as the family has said previously, Victor, it's like George Floyd 2.0. I can't believe we're reliving George Floyd 4 years later in America. If ever, police officers should have learned from the teachable moment from George Floyd that you should never put your knee on a person's neck, especially when they're restrained and saying, I can't breathe. And then for him to respond, shut the F up, it is infuriating. We have to do better by black people who say, I can't breathe. Eric Gardner, George Floyd, and now Frank Tyson. How many more black people have to die before the police believe us when we say, I can't breathe?
They beat him to death. Both officers had only been serving on the streets of Canton for 9 months. An investigator expressed concern about one of them during the hiring process. Then why did y'all hire him? This is very disturbing and alarming. They were hired at the end of 2022, but they graduated from the Basic Training Academy at Stark State College in July of last year. So y'all knew he had some integrity issues. He wasn't a truthful person. He feared. Whoa. Why he doesn't show any positive traits. I fear that taking responsibility for his actions is a problem for him. So he's a narcissist. He can't take responsibility for his actions. He finds excuses. He blames others. Okay.
3 News obtained the personnel files for the officers involved. Matt Rascone has been combing through them. Joins us with details from the newsroom. Matt, what did you find today?
Yeah, Russ, both are 24 years old, hired around the same time at the end of 2022 before they started the police academy. And most of what's in the personnel file is the hiring process and just a bit of what we know about their short career leading up to the encounter with Tyson. Both police officers who responded the night of April 18th had only been serving on the streets of Canton for a matter of months. They graduated from the Basic Training Academy at Stark State College in July last year. During the hiring process for Officer Camden Birch, the investigator recommended him for the job, but he also expressed concern that Birch was fired from Target for stealing. While he does show many positive traits which would excel in law enforcement, I fear that taking responsibility for his actions is a problem for him. Last year, Birch was reprimanded for failing to report for duty for 2 different shifts. In the recommendation for Officer Bo Shenegi, the investigator described him as a very good candidate, well-mannered, well-liked, and respected among his peers. While pursuing a suspect in September, he reversed his car and accidentally hit a concrete barrier. Shenegi has received 2 commendation awards since he was hired, one for his swift response and persistence in apprehending an armed suspect, and another for his teamwork and relentless pursuit of suspects.
Oh, yeah, he had been in prison for 24 years and had only been out for 2 weeks. They say he never should have been convicted.
I want to go to 3 News investigator Lena Lai with more of the family's claims that Frank Tyson was wrongly convicted and sent to jail for 24 years.
Yeah, it's something that we also heard attorneys Ben Crump and Bobby Ticello say several times. So, Lena, you've been looking through court documents. We know. What are you learning?
Well, Russ and Christy, we know that Frank Tyson had just been released from prison 2 weeks prior before his death after serving 24 years for charges including grand theft auto and kidnapping. Tonight, the family claims that even though key witnesses allegedly recanted their story, he still was denied the chance of a new trial.
What is worse, the wrongful conviction or the wrongful death?
3 News Investigates is digging into the claims that Frank Tyson wrongfully spent 24 years in prison.
Robbed of his liberty for 24 years because of a racist, uncompassionate criminal justice system.
In 2000, Tyson was accused of stealing a truck and running from police, then going into a home and using one of the homeowners as a human shield. According to court documents, Tyson claims that that person was not him and that the homeowners later recanted their story, saying in a court affidavit that the prosecutors told them to lie.
Wow.
I was forced to lie.
Wow.
Overlook all of that.
However, Tyson's request for a new trial came 6 years later, well beyond what Ohio law allows. Under Ohio law, convicts have 4 months to request a new trial unless there's a good reason. However, the lower court ruled that the witness recantations were not credible, and that even if they were, the evidence at trial showed that he committed the crimes. Still, the family says their mission is not just to prove Tyson's alleged wrongful death, but to clear his name.
They talk about actual innocence is not enough because you were late in filing it.
Wow.
Also denied Tyson's motion for a new wrongful death, but to clear his name.
They talk about actual innocence is not enough because you were late in filing it.
Now, the appeals court also denied Tyson's motion for a new trial. The ruling didn't even mention anything about the witnesses allegedly recanting their story. Instead, focused on how long it took for Tyson to file his motion for a new trial. Meanwhile, the Ohio Supreme Court declined to hear the case. Russ Christie.
So now let's move over to Young Dolph. Stuff. Is Black Youngster feeling something? Is something going on? Are you feeling betrayed? It's a lot of betrayal going on in Heavy Camp, CMG, Bread Game, Endless, what's the other one? Loaf Boys. Am I missing one? Heavy Camp, Bread Game, Endless, Loaf Boys, CMG. Yo. Truly. Y'all feeling something right about now. You know what I mean? You in your feelings. Are you praying? Ain't you a bishop? Don't you? Holy, holy, holy. You feeling something? I thought you never asked. What am I talking about? You ready to tell the people? Sammy, you ready to tell the people? That's not nice. Lord have mercy. You can't play with God like that, sir. You gonna wish you had him in a minute. Let's read this. Let's read this. This is 2 hours ago. Disloyal people never win. Never expect loyalty from someone that's disloyal. He got the mouth zip. Zip your lips. You give loyalty and they give excuses for not being loyal. Shut your mouth. Shut the fuck up. Said, I'm loved because I'm loyal. For real, for real. Nobody you see around me, Riders of the Year and Heavy Camp, only respect real and loyalty. Baby. Baby, God can be on your side all you want, but he says what you reap, you shall sow. What goes around comes around. You can't play God. You can't manipulate God. You cannot out-hustle God. God is the biggest G. Huh? He is the biggest G. And you can play that game all you want to. You can fast talk. You can roll around on the ground. You can act like whatever you want to act like. But you cannot out-hustle God. He'll let you think you're getting away with it because he wants you to see yourself a wretch, of FOOL, undone. I'm trying to keep it holy. Okay. He said you're not supposed to call them fools. But I can say foolishness. Huh? Okay, you can play. You can play like God is okay with that ratchet killing, murder, all that type of stuff if you want to. But that ain't how that works. Okay? He said he will forgive you, but he did not say that you will not have to pay for the things that you did. That ain't how that go. Even there was 2 thieves on the cross. Let's have a little church. One who knew he was a thief and one who was acting like he wasn't one. Acting like. You hear the operative word? Acting like. He forgave one, but he still had to pay his time. He still had to, you know. But it's just that he was forgiven. But he still had to pay his debt for his wrongdoing. So that don't go away, dude, just because he on your side. Stop playing with God. For we have to have church for real up in here. Up in here. Okay. What you the same guy at the cemetery? Playing, acting? Yeah, okay. Now the question is, who disloyal? Huh? Who telling? Who you want to keep their mouth shut? Huh? Shut your mouth, zip your lips. Yes, indeed. It's still for everybody, for life after death. Ooh. Better days. Better days. Better days are coming. For Dolph family. Better days. Justice for Dolph. Justice for young Dolph. Before I go, breaking news. A child was injured after self-inflicting shooting in Oak Haven 25 minutes ago. (1 p.m. 3900 block of Bertram Code. Lord help. I'm telling y'all that trafficking is an issue. Texas, Memphis, Atlanta. Atlanta just had a huge bust over the weekend. And Antoniohumphrery was laid to rest. Condolences to the family. Ask me not, O gentle Savior, hear my humble cry.
A somber day of reflection as family members of 17-year-old Antonio Humphrey,
please hit the like button.
He was laid to rest just this morning. The teen was killed in last month's mass shooting in Orange Mound. And as Action News 5's Sydney Gray was there at the funeral and heard from loved ones and a community activist who's continuing to fight against gun violence.
Knowing him, I guess, from the cradle, as they say, not to the grave.
A life cut far too short due to an issue that's become far too common.
This is Memphis. 399 last year. One shy of 400 homicides. Murders. For what reason?
Family members, friends, and loved ones of 17-year-old Antonio Humphrey gathered at St. Luke's Missionary Baptist Church to honor the young man's life. A life lost due to gun violence. A constant issue continuing to take so many lives. Pastor Ron Brown says he's fed up.
I'm not well. My granddaughter's graduating from Tennessee State University right now. I'm missing that because I have to do a funeral for a 17-year-old who was gunned down in an event that the situation never should have occurred.
For Keith Leachman, this one is personal. He knew Humphrey's uncle. Leachman says the teen's uncle died in his arms 15 years ago, so losing 17-year-old Humphrey to senseless violence hurts even more.
It's a battle, really, when you have to fight on the ground and then fight with the politicians to get the resources. Give these guys an outlet. And then they do things like pass open carry law for 18-year-old.
Yep.
This thing getting real tricky here now.
It's getting tricky.
Double-headed sword.
As Leachman mourns the teen he called.
Can I get an amen? Now he talking my talk. It's political. It's a double-edged sword. It's called let me go. It's called eliminating the African American race by African American people.
It's an outlet. And then they do things like pass open carry law for 18-year-old. This thing getting real tricky here now. We fighting a double-headed sword.
As Leachman mourns the teen he called Lil Yo, he says he'll keep fighting for the youth and encourages them to find spiritual healing.
I was a trouble teen. I've been arrested over 30 times. If he changed me, he can change anybody.
He and Pastor Brown say it's also about getting around the right people to make a change.
We just have to stop the foolishness. Find other ways to vent your anger or whatever it is that's causing y'all to do this kind of things. Just do it a different way. Let's find a different way. Talk to the counselors. Allow the programs that are available to you to mentor you and to minister to you.
Sydney Gray, Action News 5.